Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next custom campaign match. I am playing the Death Jungle Camp, and I am playing as the Orcs because I felt that would be kind of lore friendly here. It looks like we're playing against the Tyranids. It's a 2,000 point matchup, 80 point target, 8 turn limit. Now this is the Exterminatus objective, so it's purely trying to kill each other, not a strategic point map here. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to work with our movements here, whether it's going to be kind of a close quarters or what the issue is. So I kind of went with a melee force build with a tiny little bit of range. I may regret that, but I was kind of getting the impression looking at that picture that it was just going to be kind of a tight quarters matchup here. And then if he's using the Tyranids, I thought he might have quite a bit of swarm tactics going here, so I grabbed some flamers. So as you can see, I got this war boss here. I got a couple weird boys, pain boys to be able to do some healing, the knobs with the claws, the burnas, and the war bikes. Now I kind of rushed through that because I've heard that there's been some issues with this map, so I didn't want to end up having it bug out because I was getting a little bit PO'd about some other matches because I had a bunch of maps bug out on me recently. So I didn't want to rush through and get everything going. Now the weird thing about this map is as I'm moving my guys around is I see this left side seems to be completely occluded. So it's like, okay, I guess I got to shift my guys to the front. And then there's that path to the left, and then there's two paths on the right. So it wasn't totally clear to me that that was open, or that that was closed. So it's like, alright, I guess we're going to kind of split our forces up here. Now, a lot of these custom maps, they really like to create excessive amounts of choke points, and it just really doesn't lead to really big dynamic plays. It tends to just lead to like one-on-one matches, and then you have some shooting stuff around. So it's kind of unusual, and then you throw in on top of that this elevated position in the center. It's like, alright, I guess we'll try to run up here, and then what are we going to just shoot at each other across the canyon here, or do we just run down? So I'm not quite sure how this map is going to come together, so I'm just kind of shifting everybody over to see what I can do. And then he's kind of moved his guys, nothing, we can't even really see each other, so it's like I'll just keep advancing. It's like I think this is probably going to be cover here since they're hiding behind some rocks, but it, unlike say Sanctus Reach, where it just gives you an icon to let you know this is full cover, this is partial cover, you know what the situation is, this game doesn't do that at all. And then when you're playing these custom maps, kind of the thing that can also make it more difficult is there's I guess what would be the term for it, like an object permanent oh my god, I can't say the word. Whether the object is really acknowledged and permanently there is a issue, because sometimes you're walking through obstacles, ramps, and it's not clear which ones are really there and which ones aren't. Now you can kind of deduce it when you're moving around, and then you can see that you can walk through an item, or not an item, walk through an obstacle. But if you're don't have enough movement points and you can't see, it's like, well, I think this is probably there, but I can't quite tell. So it's definitely leads to some frustration. I know I've had several opponents that have been extremely frustrated by that, because it allowed me to win the match because they were assuming their units were safe on an elevated position and thought I had to go around and get the ramp, and instead I can just literally defy gravity and walk up it. But now we're starting to see the Tyranids come in. I think the flying and hover infantry are going to be very powerful on this, because I think what he's going to be able to do is just fly across that cannon, shoot me, and then return back and... yeah, okay. Return back and just kind of pick me apart. And it looks like that's probably going to be the case up here, so it looks like that is not full cover. So he's just going to run over here with this Death Splitter Tyranid warriors and shoot me. And they unfortunately do not have the increased health, so I assume if he has a third one here, yeah, it looks like he does, so he'll at least get a kill and then get a second attack, I imagine. And so here you can see, okay, he's on this elevated position, he has all these units, and then it's a one square pathway to get up there, so it's like, shit, how am I going to get up there? Now, for whatever reason, it kind of bugged out that last attack, so I couldn't see it, but it looks like he killed a model. So I'm just trying to position myself here, because it's like, well, how am I going to get up this position here if it's a one pathway movement? Because what I don't want is for him to use those venom throw just blocking the territory, and then I'm not able to get up there. So it's like I'm trying to bring the pain boys over so I could maybe try to heal my guys. But then it's like, oh, I should have put somebody in front of the pain boy, because then these guys would have been able to body block up there. Instead, I'm setting them up with like a perfect area to be able to kill that pain boy, unfortunately.
What now? Ready to saw bones.
And it's like I kind of hate to use the warpath, because then it's gonna not be able to buff everybody else.
Let's go, lads. Hogsie's best. Ready to boss the boys.
And then this guy is all the way back here. So it's like I guess we're gonna just have to run under fire and try to take cover again over by that canyon over there.
Move in and lead it.
And he's got the Hive Tyrant here, which should be excellent for him, because that should allow him to hit me with some venom attacks here. And orcs can't heal poison, despite the fact that they're supposed to have like an immunity to poison lore-wise. They're supposed to be extremely resilient to all that kind of stuff. So they're one of the few factions that can't heal poisons. I'm not sure, I don't think the Tyranids do either, actually, now that I think about that, but all the human healers allow you to cancel out poison. And so now I'm just watching, it's like, okay, he's got that guy over here, so he's going to try to jump me. So it's like we got to keep our guys blobbed up so he doesn't come out and Bioshock us. And I also need to keep advancing to be able to get up here. But now I'm running into issues with like the choke point, because the pathing is so poor. And so he does have swarm tactics, he's got more warriors over here. Generally the burrowing ability is only good for 4 squares, so if I kind of keep everybody blobbed up here, it should stop him from being able to jump me.
If you say so. It's our time.
But I think we're both having significant difficulties maneuvering our guys due to this weird map setup here. Yeah, and see, he's commenting like I can't even, he's having trouble telling where he can path to as well. And then he's prudently coming down to try to snipe out that pain boy, because if he can kill him, that'll take away my healing and my bonus HP. So those are significant damage things that he'll be able to avoid having to chew through, because the whole point is he needs to just sit back here and keep shooting me and getting kills, and he should easily be able to beat me because I don't have enough range for this map. The only thing that's gonna cause him to lose the match is if he overextends himself. So that's what I have to hope for.
Don't they know who we are?
We can see him moving his guys around here, trying to stack up his swarm tactics here. He's spacing them out enough so he doesn't allow me to flame everybody down, but at the same time he's kind of positioning them in a way where he'll be able to group them all up to get attacks on me.
Orcs always win, even when we don't.
So now what I wasn't sure about is if I can flame through these rocks here, because on my side it wasn't full cover, but then it looks like these rocks probably are full cover. So I thought I'll just move over here and see, and it's like, nope, it is full cover. And it's like, alright, well, we're going to take a bunch of acid damage here. It's like, I guess we just move you guys over. The big thing is I don't want to be standing in the toxic presence, or else I'll be taking even more damage with everything else going on. So I definitely need to try to avoid that. So I'm just kind of bringing everybody up against the wall as much as I can, with the hope being
Something's a burn. The old ways is best. Let's go, lads.
that I can block some of the ranged attacks from keep sniping me here. And it's like, now that I got everybody blobbed together, let's get the warpath going. And then I'm going to blind him, because I assume he's going to jump down and try to bioshock me, because I kind of gave him multiple areas where he should easily be able to shock me.
What's not on fire?
And then he may just want to run down with this Hive Tyrant and start doing some melee, and then jump back up onto that ramp, and then just keep the yeah, see, it says it's full cover, but then he can sit here and shoot. So I just don't understand. I still, after all this time, have difficulty understanding how the cover system in this game works, because it just seems so inconsistent.
We was made to fight, so let's fight.
It's like we got the situation over here. It's like I can come all the way down there, but then you're going to be in toxic presence and take a bunch of increased damage. So it's like I don't know if I necessarily want that to happen. But it's like, yeah, he definitely has a bunch of guys over there. So it's like, do I keep advancing you? Do I not? It's like, well, if I move you up one more, I can at least flame one guy down, because right now I'm straight up losing. I think these are only worth like 2% though.
Ready to bust the boys. Let's go, lads.
I want to try to protect our weird boy here.
Taking a step on.
It's like we'll throw the stick bomb there and kill those guys. That at least gives me 2. We'll do headbanger there. And it's like, is he gonna jump me or not? And I'm not sure, so it's like, let's just do it assuming he's going to.
Something's a burn. What's not on fire?
And then you can flame here. So it's now
Getting warmer.
4 to 5.
Something's a burn.
It's like we'll move those guys up.
Always is best.
For some reason it wants me to be able to grenade there, but I don't know what that would even do.
It's our time. Hold
And here I was like, oh shit. I thought I could move those guys over a little bit more. Because I was trying to get everybody up here as far as possible. But I didn't realize that I had already maxed out my weird boy movement there. So now it's like everybody's getting poisoned. Killing a couple models. He's coming down. Gonna Bioshock me, I imagine. Soaking up the Overwatch from the Flamers. Actually, it looks like he's charging my War Boss, which was kind of a weird, unexpected thing here. Which is good, because now it means he's overextending himself. So that means he's getting overconfident. And this is actually going to allow me to maybe even salvage this horrible gameplay I've been doing. Because the Hive Tyrant's worth like 400 points. And I should be able to kill him with my forces that are down here. And if he keeps overextending, I can easily flame these other guys too. So now that he has all these points tied up over here, it's like, well, what can I do? The game seems to be bugging out and not letting me see what attacks he's doing. I assume he Bioshock, but maybe he melee'd? I mean, I can't even tell what's happening because the game is wigging out. Yeah, he's coming after my shooters. Looked like he melee'd those down. Looks like he's finishing off my burner boys. So now he's taking out 20% of my forces, so that's not good. I think he's still exploring that left side of the map to see if there's a path upwards, but it's totally blocked up. And he's just kind of running with the swarm here to block this point. And now I've got these guys here. So it's like I need to take out this Hive Tyrant. That's priority number 1. These guys still have their stick bomb. So it's like I could start doing that, but that's only 20 some damage. If I do it here, I might be able to take out the Venom Thropes, which will have some natural resistance and evasion. And it might be worth some decent points. So we'll flame through our bike. Yep. And then you can just shoot here. We took those guys out. And now I've got the boys over here. And it's like, let's throw the stick bomb here. That almost took everybody out. I can bring the flamers here and flame through here, and that should kill both of those. I could probably just shoot those guys and get the kill here. We'll move you over because I need to try to get some flanking going with my knobs here to kill the Hive Tyrant without getting counterattacked. He still has 20 health left, unfortunately. So I think we have to guarantee the kill. So we'll run you up. That brings me up to 32. I'll pull you back. Pull you back. Bring these guys, try to get them into full cover again. I suspect he'll be able to just shoot these guys down. Now I have to come after these warriors, but I don't want him to be able to lock these guys into melee. We've got this situation. So it's like, let's flame down the venom thrope again.
I think I can stitch that back.
Pull you back. Throw the stick bomb. Almost got the kill there. I can pull you back. Get you here. This should now buff everybody, and if I would have done that earlier, I bet I probably would have got the kill. I'll bring you up here. I've already used your stick bomb, apparently. Shoot here. He's down. He is over here. So if I run you down to lock down this guy, that should allow me to get those points. You're still over here. By shifting you over this way, we should be able to fight the Termagon, assuming he stays over this way. We'll bring over the shooters to try to reinforce the knobs there in case he gets some kills. Bring the burners over here. Now I still got this guy over here. Heal those guys back up.
Raring to go.
And then I'll just move the war bike over a little bit, I think, and try to get some shots off into his Termagon over here. That did decent damage. I'll increase his evasion, because between your natural evasion at 30 now and his blindness, that should allow you to have a good chance to avoid his attacks. And then I'll just kind of bring you over here in case I need to use you to slap down that unit at all. So you'll have multiple units that are very close to... I have multiple units that are very close to being killed, I should say. In fact, if he kills multiple units, just with he'll be able to surge, get bonus natural killer abilities. So that could be a real big deal.
Something to burn.
If I could get up to 3 command points, and I could just drop a bomb on those Tyranid warriors and likely get the kill easily, but I'm not sure that's really feasible. So it's definitely a pretty close match at this point in time. It all depends on if he keeps feeding me units or not, and unfortunately, I'm guessing the game ended up bugging out because then the other player left. So usually, that's what's hard about this, is especially this player, he does like to quit matches when he's losing, but usually if he saw the turn, then it would say the other player conceded, instead it just said the other player left the match. So that makes me believe that it probably bugged out and did that. Either the bug where it just continually loads because there was so much asynchrony going on, because it was definitely having trouble loading unit attacks and things. As you could see here, it was like bugging out, not showing attacks, and it seems like the more of those that happen, the more alteration there is between the matches, then the chance of it just crashing the game happens, and it seems to be incredibly likely on a lot of these custom maps. I don't understand what it is about the coding on the custom maps that does this. So overall, this Death Jungle Camp. I don't like this map. There's too much elevation issue. There's too narrow of paths. It just creates pathing issues. It's unclear where paths are open, where it's closed. It arbitrarily closes the whole left side of the map, so you can't send another squad up that left side. So again, these people seem to want these choke point, limited ability maps, and you need to make it more open and less cumbersome. I mean, I know people want to add all this crap in there to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, but it's like you also need to consider more of the gameplay issue here, because once you start throwing elevation in this game, it really affects the range unit's ability and whether you can shoot at 1 tile away, 2 tiles away, 3 tiles away, because it'll change what level cover things are. So it just gets to be too much. So overall, I would recommend just passing on this map. I think it created a bug and it probably caused it to bug out, but again, I wasn't able to talk to the player here because he just left. So it's unclear to me if that's truly what happened. Again, I suspect it is, because I think if he would have seen his turn, got angry, and ended up rage quitting, it would say the other player had conceded. Instead, it just said he left the match, so that means he didn't even get to see what his turn included there. Which again makes me think it bugged out. But good job by our opponent here. Definitely had a reasonable build. Clearly has some understanding of how this game works now. If he would have just stayed back with the Hive Tyrant and kept shooting me at range, stacking those big poison bonuses onto my units, he'd easily be able to pick them off. And then he had the flyers, so he could just use those gargoyles, keep applying poisons onto me. He could have used that venom throw to just sit there and keep path blocking, and then using his Tyranid warriors to then attack the units that have been injured, because if you can get the model kill with their natural killer ability, there's a really high chance that you're going to end up getting additional AP to do additional attacks, and while you're killing models, in addition to that, you're building up your momentum, which then can potentially give you a third attack per turn. So all those things together could have really helped him out there and allowed him to have an easy victory. The one thing you got to be careful with, especially with that Hive Tyrant, is he is a powerhouse, but he's very easy to kill. So, and he costs 400 points. So this is the part that kind of annoys me about the Tau. Again, going back to my hatred of the Tau, the commander is by far the hardest HQ unit to kill. He's got good flamers, he's got a decent ranged attack, he gives buffs, does all these abilities, and you can get multiple, and he's pretty cheap, and he has 9 armor, he's got damage reduction stuff. So given how easy it is to kill these other units that cost more than him, I think the commander probably needs to get his price increased, unless you wanted to nerf more universally other orc infantry units, because it just seems that they're too buff, they're too damage resistant, especially when you start throwing all those ethereal buffs on there. It just makes them ridiculous to try to take out, and so other factions are really kind of lagging behind. Especially say something like the orcs. I mean, you can get into combat, then maybe you can kill them, especially if you get your flamers in there and you can use your HP bonuses, but you're able to get picked off pretty easily, because they can just snipe your commanders, and that's how you want to end up killing the orcs, is by taking out all their leaders. Then you can really make them waste a lot of points, because they really have to work on all that synergy where they start stacking buffs on each other. That's how things get completely out of control with them. But anyways, with the Tyranids, though, you know, the Death Splitters, I think that's always the way to go when you're using the Tyranid warriors, because it just increases their range damage significantly, as well as their range. So it's just makes perfect sense to just always put those points in there. He was doing a good job stacking up his bonuses. Again, using the gargoyles to apply the poison, tried to use the venom throw to throw down the toxic presence to get increased damage to my units. All that was good, and then he had excellent positioning on the left side of the map, where he was just using all those guys from all different directions, so my orcs couldn't run in there and just start flaming everybody down or getting them in the melee. It's like no matter what direction I would have gone in, he would have had units behind me to be able to then swarm in on me and get the kills with my orcs, because the orcs don't have a lot of armor, so they're very easy to cleave through. So that's really what the Tyranids are best at, is taking care of lower armored units, unless you start doing things like Gene Stealers, which have more armor piercing, or you can really stack up a lot of Hormagaunts with their armor piercing, especially if you're using their leap ability. But usually that doesn't always work, because you have to have so many guys next to each other to really ramp up their damage to go after heavily armored units to make it worthwhile, and then the following turn they're usually all slaughtered. So a little bit of a disappointing end to this match. I definitely would have liked it to go for another turn or two, because I definitely could have seen it go either way. If he would have been more patient, I think he would have easily won, and if he continued to overextend himself, it would have fallen into my favor here.
So it was definitely a very close match. I think overall he really should have won this match, especially with his build compared to mine with the map here. But I can't fault him for overextending because I have lost many a match by doing the very same thing. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.